Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I am back with another Road to Ranked episode where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. Anyway, before today's episode starts, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. Before, I kind of had this like barrier slash goal thing where if you guys hit the amount of likes, I'd post another video, and you guys have basically met that requirement every day. Some people feel like it's a bit unnecessary slash greedy, and I can definitely see where they're coming from, and since you guys have shown so much support for the series, I've decided that there's really no need for that anymore. So since I plan on posting content on a daily basis anyway, I'm just not going to even bother including that in the videos anymore. But it really does mean a lot to me when you guys support the video and support the series. Regardless, though, you should expect daily content from me basically every day now, especially since VGC 15 has so much to see and prepare for. So just letting you guys know about that quick short announcement. But yeah, today we'll still be trying out Mega Metagross, and of course I hit over 1800 in the last battle, so now we're trying to climb up to 1900. I'm using Metagross, Thundurus, Bisharp, Sylveon, Hydreigon, Landorus. Specs is back on Sylveon. Hydreigon actually has the choice Scarf, and my first opponent of the day is Ben 1812. This should be Ben Kriyaku, who is a very good VGC player, won UK Nationals in 2012 and 2013, has qualified for Worlds for the last couple of years, so he's definitely one of the best players in the world. Definitely a nice way to kick off the series today. So he's got a team of Kangaskhan, Thundurus, Gengar, Heatran, Landorus T, and Sylveon. A very threatening slash kind of generic team. The Gengar is definitely the most frightening thing here, but if you guys watched the last episode, I was actually able to take advantage of Gengar by switching Bisharp into an Icy Wind, which of course actually gives me the Defiant boost. So a Bisharp here can be really nice. It can, well, obviously one-hit KO the Sylveon. It's gonna threaten Landorus. If I were him, I'd probably lead with Kangaskhan and Gengar, to be quite honest. Since I am Scarf Hydreigon, I think I'm gonna lead with Hydreigon and Thundurus, that way to spread some paralysis and taunt. Metagross in the back for sure. For my last one, I'm thinking either Bisharp or Landorus. I kind of need Landorus to hit the Heatran, that's the main reason why I want it. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to just go bring Landorus here, to immediately threaten the Heatran and to intimidate his Kangaskhan, since he'll probably bring that as well. Though it is very tempting to bring Bisharp, though I guess I've got Metagross to beat the Sylveon already, so I don't really need Bisharp. Just priority Sucker Punch is always nice, but I think I'm going to go with Landorus. I actually need to get Superpower on this Landorus for future matches, because Superpower is really good against Kangaskhan and Heatran. And I've been running a more bulky band Landorus, but I'm thinking of just switching into Admin 252 in the future, just to maximize damage output, because right now, I'm not doing as much as I'd like. And I do predict his leads correctly, so he does go with Kangaskhan and Gengar as I predicted, as I go with my Hydreigon on Thundurus. So this is a decent lead matchup. Not the best, but it was what I was expecting, basically. So because Hydreigon is Choice Scarfed, I can outspeed either of his Pokemon, but the question is what he really wants to do. I think I'm going to Draco the Kangaskhan and Thunder Wave the Gengar. Alternatively, I could Dark Pulse Gengar and Thunder Wave Kangaskhan. The question is, who do I want gone more quickly? You know what? I'm going to Dark Pulse Gengar and just go for the T-Wave onto Kang. Hopefully that way I can bring Gengar to its Focus Sash, and then paralyzing his Mega Evolution would be really nice as well. Though I'm thinking maybe I should have paralyzed Gengar since I've got Metagross in the back. And his Gengar does go for a Protect, so yeah, I probably should have switched things up. But he's going to let me get that Thunder Wave off, which is nice. And Hydreigon, of course, is still going to be able to outspeed both of his Pokemon next turn, but I get the feeling we're going to see a Double Edge come out here. Oh, he actually goes for the low kick. That should KO Hydreigon. Yeah, as it does. So excellent play from my opponent's end there, and that's definitely going to set me back a considerable amount. He picked up the free KO there onto Hydreigon. Low kick is one of the newer moves, of course, that Kangaskhan gets access to, but I do get a free switch into Landorus. However, it was really bad that I lost the Hydreigon there, and the Protect from Gengar was semi-predictable, so I think I probably should have predicted there. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide here, and I think I'm going to taunt the Gengar to prevent him from getting a Will-O-Wisp against my Landorus. There's a good chance he's going to switch out the Gengar here, but that way I can at least get a free Rock Slide off, and since his Kangaskhan is paralyzed as well, I'm hoping to regain some momentum after a pretty bad first turn there. Of course, I've got Metagross in the back as well, but he is going to withdraw that Gengar. Let's see what comes in. Maybe Landorus T. It's actually Thundurus, which is a better sight for sure. because the taunt here is actually going to help out a lot. It's going to prevent it from getting any Thunder Wave swaggers off. Oh, and he avoids the Rock Slide there with Kangaskhan. That's definitely unfortunate. But at least it connects with Thundurus, and it does a decent amount. And it does have the Citrus Berry we see very often, but pretty frustrated about the lack of attack there. And he does get a double edge off, so that was definitely frustrating. Landorus should be able to take this. Yep. But I lost a lot of damage there, and I missed the chance to flinch or paralyze his Kangaskhan, so not what you want to see when you want to try to get back into this game. I'm going to Rock Slide again here and Thunderbolt the Thundurus to try to pick up a KO on that spot. Hopefully Rock Slide can connect this time against the Kangaskhan. I'm still not in a terrible position, but unfortunately I get the impression that Metagross is going to be, not Metagross, Heatran is going to be Ben's last Pokemon, and if that is the case, then I probably should have conserved Landorus, but I can't switch right now. I can't really afford to switch. Though I guess here it wouldn't have been a terrible idea to switch out. So we'll see if Landorus can hang around this turn, but he is going to let me get this Thunderbolt off against the Thundurus. As he goes for a Thunderbolt onto my own Thundurus, so just trading off some damage there. As Landorus gets the Rock Slide, and it misses the Thundurus too, so definitely unfortunate there. Will Kangaskhan get an attack off? It gets the double edge off, so really nothing going my way there. Missing 2 attacks and Kangaskhan being able to attack through. Definitely unfortunate, and this is going to be a very difficult game to try to surmount a comeback in. Of course, when you have Thundurus, anything can happen, but things not really looking too great right now. But at least I'm going to be able to bring in Metagross. So now I can just Mega Evolve, go for the Zen Headbutt onto the Kangaskhan, and Thunderbolt the Thundurus. Yeah, but I missed out on a KO there. Obviously, had I hit Rock Slide the previous turn against Kangaskhan too, that would have been really nice, but it's kind of what I have to expect when you use Rock Slide, I guess. And Ben definitely made an excellent turn 1 play, so I really think I should have targeted Kangaskhan that turn with a Draco from the Hydreigon, but I was just trying to bring the Gengar down to its sash, and unfortunately Ben read right into that. It looks like he's going to stay in with both of his Pokemon, so I think I can at least pick up 2 KOs here, but based off what he's got in the back, it's going to be very difficult to win this one. But I am at least going to be able to outspeed his Thundurus and get the T-Bolt off here. It should KO, as it does, with a critical hit. And hopefully Metagross here is able to connect with the Zen Headbutt. And as it does, let's see, this should knock it out. As it does. So, quickly turning things back into a 2-2, but he's got Gengar, which already gives me enough trouble, and presumably Heatran as his last one. So, things definitely not looking too great, but I guess we're gonna have, it really depends on his last Pokemon. It's actually Sylveon, so it's actually still very possible to win this match. But the difficulty is what Gengar is gonna go for. Okay, I think I'm gonna protect here with Metagross and just Thunder Wave Gengar. Seeing like he didn't bring Heatran though, this is still very, very possible to win, even despite a poor beginning. Of course, Metagross outspeeds the Sylveon, but this is tricky. I think I would guess the Sylveon is choice specs. Regardless, Metagross can KO Sylveon with the Meteor Mash, but the thing is, I don't want to take a Shadow Ball to Metagross. But the question is, he might just protect with this Gengar and attack with the Sylveon. So I think there are really 2 possible plays he can make here. You know what? I think he's going to protect Gengar. So I'm going to Meteor Mash Sylveon. I'm just going to T-Wave the Gengar. And even if he doesn't protect oh, wow, Helping Hand! So it's going to come down to whether I get a full paralysis here or not, basically. Though he might have targeted Thundurus, expecting me to protect Metagross, but I guess we'll see. But I'm guessing he's targeting Metagross here. Oh, wow, I outsped the Gengar. Didn't see that coming. That Meteor Mash should KO the Sylveon. That's huge. Me outspeeding there is great, obviously. As he's fully paralyzed as well, yep. Though I guess I shouldn't have been so surprised that I outsped it, because now I remembered I'm actually Jolly Max Speed, so, for some reason I thought Gengar was 130, not 110, but I was remembering Mega Gengar. But that's huge. Basically, I'm gonna actually be able to win this match now by just double targeting with the Zen Headbutt and Thunderbolt. Very lucky full paralysis, but even had I not gotten it, he probably would have targeted Metagross there, and Thundurus can 2-hit KO his Gengar while he can't 2-hit KO my Thundurus, so I think I actually had that game in the bag regardless, but I managed to pull through with the win, so very, very exciting, basically turning it down back from a down 2-4 to a 2-0 win against Ben, who is, like I said, one of the best players in Europe and in the world. So a really exciting battle to start off the series for the day. And I definitely should remember my speed tiers a bit better. Of course, I haven't used Mega Metagross very much, but it really did come through in this battle, being able to outspeed basically his entire team. And that's why I was actually really glad Thundurus got taunted earlier on, because by taunting his Thundurus, he couldn't Thunder Wave my Metagross. And one of the best parts about Jolly Metagross is the ability to outspeed most of the format. You know, you outspeed almost all the common Megas, outspeed Etspad Gengar there too, so that's great. My rating now jumps to 1821, which is really awesome, so very nice way to start off today's episode, and Metagross there really did do a lot of work, and that was an exciting way to come back after what was really a terrible start. You know, I lost my Hydreigon, Landorus missed Rock Slide 2 separate times, Kangaskhan wasn't paralyzed nor did it get flinched by the Rock Slide, but it still ended up working out as Metagross really came in and finished the job. But my own Thundurus there did hold its own by outspeeding his Thundurus, which definitely helped out a lot, prevented me from taking any more damage, and obviously I was very glad to see Sylveon as Ben's last one. I think had he had Heatran, that would have given me a lot more trouble. Second opponent of the day is going to be a 1696 rated player from Japan. So my opponent here's got a team of Camerupt, Gothitelle, Amoonguss, Mawile, Hariyama, and Salamence. And obviously, so that a lot of those Pokemon I've used before. He's got the Gothitelle, Hariyama, Mawile, and Salamence core, which I actually have used for a very long time. He also got Mega Camerupt, which of course I featured in the beginning of the Road to Rank series. So if you want to see Mega Camerupt used and have not watched those episodes already, definitely check those out. And Amoonguss is this last one. So very obviously a Trick Room team, bar the Salamence. I've played that kind of team for a very long time, so I know what to expect, but it doesn't really make the matchup any easier per se. It's still very difficult to beat, and that Gothitelle is gonna be trouble. Presumably, I would lead with Hariyama and Goth, I think, if I were him. The main difficulty is he's almost guaranteed to set up Trick Room on the first turn. Actually, I do see a way to possibly prevent it. I'm gonna lead with my Thundurus and Bisharp. That way I can either taunt or just knock off the Goth. I definitely want a way to beat the Camerupt. Amoonguss is also... Metagross is very good in this if I can prevent Trick Room from going up. I think Hydreigon is my last one. Sylveon's not bad, but the issue is he's got Landorus is actually also very solid if I can prevent Trick Room from going up. So I think if I can prevent Trick Room from going up, Landorus here would be excellent, mainly because of the Earthquake. So it's really between Landorus and Hydreigon, but I'm leaning towards Landorus. Yeah, I'm going to bring on Landorus. Just having Intimidate in the back is going to be helpful too against his team. So Thundurus Bisharp, that gives me a pretty good option against everything. I guess the one thing that really harms it is if he goes with Gothitelle and Amoonguss as his leads, but the thing is that's a really passive lead. So I'm either going to want to prevent Trick Room from going up in the first place, or make sure that even if he sets up Trick Room, I can stall out a couple of turns. Now, unfortunately, one of the downfalls of my team is I don't have Protect on a lot of the members because I've got choice items on 3 Pokemon, actually, Sylveon, Landorus, and Hydreigon, so that does make things a bit more difficult, but we'll see how it plays out. Definitely difficult, but if I can prevent Trick Room, like I said, this should be a match in my favor, but I'm going to go with Thundurus Bisharp as he goes with Hariyama and the Gothitelle. Okay, so that's a decent match for me on this first turn. Of course, I can actually just taunt and knock off the Goth, but the question is whether he's got Protect with Gothitelle or not, because if he does, he can actually just Protect and close combat with the Hariyama. So even though this was the ideal lead matchup, it's still difficult. I'm definitely going to taunt the Goth, but the question is whether I want to Protect here or just go for the knockoff onto Goth as well. Or I can just Iron Head Hariyama to get some damage off. I think if I were him, I'd realize the position I'm in. Really protected... Yeah, I really want to protect Bisharp here, but you know what? I'm just going to go for the taunt and the knockoff. He does go for the fake out. That's good. Onto Bisharp. Okay, so I get a free taunt here. So that works out. Basically what I wanted to happen. But I guess we'll see if it has Mental Herb. And it does have Mental Herb. That's really bad for me. As he gets the free Trick Room up. So that made this game a lot more difficult, as he gets a free Trick Room up. Oh, and it's actually Toxic Orb Hariyama. So You know, I've been running Assault Vest slash Citrus Berry. He's got Toxic Orb this time. That's going to increase his attack. I would think he's going to target the Thunderous here. I'm thinking of just taunting Gothitelle once again and just Iron Heading the Hariyama. Yeah, I'm just going to taunt Goth and Iron Head Hariyama, predicting him to target Thunderous, expecting a Protect from the Bisharp. So that Goth can't really use the support. Oh, it does just go for the... Okay. Perhaps I could have played a bit safer there. As he just gets a close combat off. That's not good, obviously, for me. As Bisharp there does fall, and I did need to try to conserve Bisharp a bit better. And he just goes for the Psychic, so... not an ideal turn for me there, as I basically get a taunt off, but he gets a lot of damage, and that is kind of the benefit of using a Trick Room team. But at least I can get in Metagross here. So that's nice. But this is still a very difficult game to try to win. He's probably going to switch out God. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to T-Bolt the Hariyama slot and Zen Headbutt the Gothitelle spot, expecting it to switch out into maybe the Camerupt he's probably got in the back. But this is going to be a very difficult game to win. I don't necessarily want to KO Hariyama just yet, though I guess he has a chance of KOing Thunderous. If he has Ice Punch, yeah, it's going to be a lot of trouble. I probably should... and he actually just stays in with Goth as well, so it looks like this match is already going very downhill, but I was able to come back the first game, so maybe we can still pull something out here, but let's see. And he goes for the knockoff. Let's see how much this does to Metagross. Alright, brings me down to 70 HP, as he just goes for a Psychic onto Thunderous. Let's see. It's going to bring me down to my Citrus Berry. Unfortunately, I did not target the... Well, like I said, I'm not going to be able to get too much damage off here. Zen Headbutt does a mediocre amount, as Thunderous at least gets a T-Bolt off against the -1 Hariyama. How much does that do? A decent amount. But this is still a pretty rough position for me. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have Bullet Punch on Metagross either, which makes this a lot harder. And now the question is whether he's going to target Metagross once again. I think I should really just Protect here and Thunderbolt the Hariyama. Yeah, I'm gonna make that play. He hasn't been predicting Protects at all throughout the course of the game, so I think I'm just gonna make the safer play this time around. Though I get the feeling he might punish me this time for doing it, so I guess we'll find out. If I can last for one more turn, that would be really good. Of course, he's got 2 more turns of Trick Room left, but I guess this is really just showing the power of Hariyama, Gothitelle, and Trick Room in general. I'm thinking how I could have outled him. I think leading with Metagross actually probably would have been a better idea for offensive pressure, or even Sylveon. Like something like Sylveon and Bisharp might have helped, but that's why Mental Herb is a really good item on Trick Room users. It basically ensures you get a Trick Room up, and he actually withdraws the Hariyama there, so perhaps I should have attacked. Looks like Mawile's coming in. So there's actually still a chance I can win this, because I've got Landorus as my last Pokemon, so it's good to see Mawile not Camerupt. As I go for the Protect here, he's probably just going to go for a Psychic onto my Thunderous, but I will get a free Thunderbolt off, which is always good. Let's see. Yeah, and that's going to allow me to get a free Thunderbolt off against that Mawile, which is really good. I still don't really understand why he switched out in the first place, but by no means am I going to complain about that. So I'm still trapped in here. I really want the Thunderous to stay around. I think if I were him, probably play rough. No, actually, I'd probably Sucker Punch Metagross. But I think I'm gonna Thunder. He just put me in a position where I can actually come back. That's the main thing. But I've really got to play these last couple of turns carefully. Of course, this is the last turn of Trick Room. I'm thinking of just Thunder Waving Mawile to prevent it from attacking at all, and going for another Protect with Metagross to scout out what he's gonna try to go for. But the thing is, then I don't really have if he goes... You know what? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to Thunderbolt the Goth, and I'm just going to Meteor Mash the Goth as well. If he goes for the Sucker Punch, then at least Thunderous will stay around for another turn. And if he doesn't, then I'm gonna get a KO, and bring Goth into chip range damage. But he's gonna Mega Evolve, let's see. Oh, he goes for the Helping Hand. So I'm guessing he targeted Goth here, which is good news. Oh, he went for the rock slide. Okay, good play by him. Hopefully that doesn't flinch Metagross, as Metagross is able to at least hang on. Thundurus here is going to faint, though. Metagross gets the Meteor Mash off. Perfect. So that should do a lot to the Goth. Let's see exactly how much. As Trick Room ends there. So, not bad, but this is still going to be difficult to win. Based off my opponent's team, let's see. We saw Goth, Mawile, Hariyama. He had Amoonguss, Salamence, and Camerupt. So he's either got Amoonguss or Salamence in the back, which means I need to conserve this Metagross. The issue here is I can't just Earthquake willy-nilly because, this is really tricky. And if he's got Sucker Punch with Goth, then I'm also in trouble. If Metagross had Levitate, this would be a lot nicer. Unfortunately, I think I might just have to Rock Slide here. Or U-turn Goth and maybe Protect with Metagross to scout out what he goes for. I really, really want to Earthquake, but I can't if his last Pokemon is Salamence. Like, that would just make me lose immediately. If I were him, I'd Sucker Punch Metagross for sure. Okay, I'm gonna U-turn the Goth and just Protect Metagross. Scout out to see if he actually does have the Sucker Punch, but he actually switches out into Salamence. Maybe I should have predicted a bit better there. Yeah, this is gonna be bad for me. As, oh, he actually protects with this Goth. Okay. Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe I should have Rock Slided instead. Rock Slide would give me a better chance of flinching everything, but now I'm in a very difficult position. I can just U-turn the Goth once again, of course, but he's put me in a position where it's very difficult to win because, well, first, it depends on what item the Salamence has. I'd guess Choice Scarf or Choice Specs, but I can Ice Punch that slot and just U-turn Goth. But I also want to double target Goth to pick up a KO. Either way, though, I think this game is... It's going to be, like I said, very hard to come back in. And I probably should have Rock Slided there, yeah, instead of U-turning. I should have, like... Either way, though, I think my opponent's got this. I'm going to go for the U-turn, and... You know, I'm just going to Ice Punch the Salamence. He does go for the Helping Hand. Let's see. So I'm guessing that's Choice Scarfed. Oh, but it's not! So Metagross is going to get an Ice Punch off here. Is it enough to KO? Oh, it just misses out! As he goes for the Helping Hand Dragon Pulse there onto my Metagross? Looks like it. So that's kind of one of the drawbacks of using Jolly. You get to outspeed things, but you don't get to pick up KOs. Landorus does get the U-turn off here, but that's not going to do enough. Yeah. So he's obviously got this game in the bag. It was really close, you know, even though it's 4-1 right now. I basically weakened all of his Pokemon. I'm just going to go for a U-turn here onto the... you'd probably switch out Mens here if you were him. Oh, he's actually just going to Helping Hand the Mens, so at least I can probably pick up a knockout here. Oh, yep, and he's actually faster than me too. So this is kind of why I want to use faster Landers in the future. Even though it's careful, you see it was able to hang on there. Not really able to get much. It's just better when you can outspeed. So I might actually try out Scarflanders in the future. But either way, my opponent's Mental Orb on that Gothitelle really saved him. And he's going to bring out Mawile, but that's basically a good game. Presumably he's got Sucker Punch on that as well. But definitely well played on his end. The Mental Orb Goth really came out for this match. And... yeah, I think I could have played a bit better. He does have the Sucker Punch, so it would have made winning very difficult regardless. And losing Bisharp on the first turn was very careless on my end. I was really expecting an Ice Punch coming out from the Hariyama, but that's why Gothitelle is so great. You know, you can trap your opponent and they can't switch out. So opponent takes a pretty nice 3-0 win against me there. Trick Room team, basically as Trick Roomy as you get with the... Gothitelle with Mental Orb, and that was a very, very nicely played on my opponent's end. So definitely a great game. Features Trick Room, so 2 really great games today. One against one of the best players, obviously, who was using a more standard team, and the second time with a Trick Room opponent. So I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. As always, leave a like if you did, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, peace.